Despite having undeniably become a global phenomenon, with groups like BTS and BLACKPINK achieving unprecedented success and a massive fan base worldwide, there are still countless critics who argue that K-pop is not, quote, real music. Often basing their YouTube comment or tweet on the fact that K-pop is mainstream pop music, which is seen as less authentic and less valuable than other genres of music. The criticism reflects a broader bias against certain type of music. Since its inception, pop music has been dismissed as shallow or superficial, lacking the depth and complexity of other genres such as hip-hop or even R&B, which are seen as more authentic and real. This bias is reinforced by the fact that pop music is often targeted towards teenage girls, a demographic that is often dismissed and belittled in mainstream culture. Although this bias against pop is not only unfounded, but reflects a narrow and limiting view of what music can be. In this video, we will be exploring the term real music, the persistent snobbery among both music critics and online trolls, and the rejection of media with targets teenage girls. So let's take a look together. Why do people call K-pop not real music? Have you heard of someone say that a certain type of music isn't real music? It's a term that's been around for a while and is often used to distinguish between different genres. The problem is that this term is more often than not used to downplay the achievements of mainstream pop artists by making it seem like their music is less valuable or less authentic, with the idea of real music being based on a narrow definition of what music should be. Critics ignore the diversity of different styles and genres that exist. The main reason critics cite as to why pop artists are often dismissed as not making real music is because their music is seen as too commercial and formulaic, lacking the creative depth and artistic integrity of other genres like rock or hip-hop. But this view ignores the fact that pop music is a genre that has its own conventions and traditions, with pop songs being made to have wide appeal and to lean on aspects such as stage presence and replayability, factors that do not necessarily affect a genre like hip-hop. The use of the term real music is used to justify discrimination against certain genres, ignoring the cultural significance and artistic value of the genre and its songs, which have played an important role in shaping contemporary music. Ultimately, trolls love to hate pop music, but they themselves usually use those same songs in their TikToks because ultimately, pop music is the backbone of pop culture. In my opinion, people who label mainstream pop songs as not real music are more often than not just music snobs. With their narrow view of what music should be and their belief that only certain genres or styles are worthy of being called real music, this snobbery is, I believe, mostly because snobs always want to be seen as more sophisticated or cultured than the implied stupid, naive, brainwashed mainstream. Believing that music needs to be complex, sophisticated, and intellectually challenging, and that anything that falls outside of this narrow definition is not worthy of being called real music. These snobs ignore the fact that music can be enjoyed and appreciated in a variety of ways, since there is no one right way to appreciate music. In other words, a song does not have to be thought-provoking for it to be good. Considering their taste to be culturally superior, music snobs, ironically, fail to consider that pop has a one-of-a-kind power to connect to people from all walks of life, making it one of the most culturally significant genres. In the end, people who label mainstream pop songs as not real music are missing out on a wealth of creative and innovative music styles. Personally, I think true music lovers can appreciate music in all its forms, even when it falls outside of their taste, whether that is hard-hitting hip-hop or fun K-pop bops. K-pop in the last few years has drawn millions of fans of all genders, nationalities, and races from around the world who tune in to watch their favorite groups perform intricate dance routines and catchy pop songs. However, despite the fact that the genre is one of the biggest music phenomena in the world, countless haters still take to the internet to complain that K-pop is, as mentioned before, not real music. From what I can see, this criticism is largely due to the fact that K-pop, while resonating with a huge variety of fans, is seen as targeting teenage girls, and among music snobs, it is a widely held assumption that music made for teenage girls is less valuable or authentic than music made for other audiences. One reason why K-pop's perceived target audience of teenage girls is seen as weakness is that teenage girls' taste is often associated with a lack of musical sophistication. Online sexist trolls argue that teenage girls are not discerning enough to appreciate complex musical arrangements or meaningful lyrics, and that K-pop's music is therefore dumbed down and formulaic. Songs that rely instead on the visuals of the group to brainwash young girls, thereby ignoring the fact that K-pop has a unique sound and style that has been carefully crafted to appeal to its target audience, which in reality includes people of all ages and genders. Fortunately, every day we see teenage girls' interests and tastes being brushed aside as inauthentic, cheesy, and lacking in intellectual substance, with this gender bias being pervasive in many areas of culture and media, leading to a lack of appreciation for the cultural significance and artistic value of things that teenage girls enjoy, and reinforcing the stereotype that teenage girls are not to be taken seriously as consumers or cultural creators. This bias is especially prevalent in music, film, and literature, as musicians like K-pop idols who draw a female audience are often dismissed as lacking artistic depth and intellectual substance, while artists who draw a male audience are praised for their authenticity and creative vision. Likewise, films and TV shows that target teenage girls are often labeled as frivolous and shallow, while those targeting boys are seen as more serious and intellectually challenging. Although completely normalized in our society, as I researched, I realized that outside of how it affects K-pop, this attitude is really harmful, as it works to perpetuate the idea that certain types of culture are more valuable than others, based on broad factors like gender and age demographics. If we truly are living in a diverse and inclusive world, then why does the mainstream dismiss teenage girls' interests as inauthentic and lacking intellectual substance? And the stereotype does not end once teens hit 18. It is also common to underplay media that draws adult female fans. For example, think of how romantic movies are seen as cheesy and cheap compared to action films. Although, by making fun of the interests of half of the population, don't you think we as a society are missing out on so many cultural contributions and furthering a clear gender bias? To sum it up, the argument that K-pop is not real music because it targets teenage girls is an example of the mainstream snobbery against pop music and its gender bias. While K-pop is often regarded as less authentic compared to other music genres, internet haters limit their appreciation for the diverse range of music available and create an unfair hierarchy of artistic value. I think it's high time that critics acknowledge that pop music, including K-pop, is a legitimate and valuable form of artistic expression, and an essential part of pop culture with its unique power to inspire and bring together people from all backgrounds. By celebrating the creativity and innovation of pop music, we can create a more inclusive and diverse cultural landscape that values all types of music, regardless of the perceived level of authenticity or target audience. In the end, we all need to remember that the value of music is subjective, as what one individual considers real music may differ from another person's perception of authentic or valuable music. By acknowledging the diversity of musical styles and genres, we can all create a more inclusive and diverse cultural environment that values creativity in all forms. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to this channel for more content that celebrates the power of music to bring people together and inspire.